Okay, so I promised Sergeant Gray that I would go over the Ernest Eric swivel longitudinal steel thing. I think that's what it is. Anyways, I have a few tips on this based on the way I do it. It's not completely the way it's taught, but it's the way that it works for me. So let's. Sorry, I'm just trying to get this in place. Let's do this. So essentially, you're gonna get. First things first, the grip is important of the deck, because obviously when you're doing anything that involves using the deck itself, your grip's going to be important. I'm naturally someone who holds a deck in a straddle grip, so my index finger placement tends to be slightly different than people who hold it in master. Their index will tend to be more towards the thumb, whereas mine will tend to be more towards the corner. And I think that this probably helps me, especially in this, where you want to open up this left side, so having your index here, as per the thing, is not going to give you the same support. All right, because your whatchamacallit, your middle finger is also moving up in most master grip, right? Compared to in straddle grip, where this shifts down. The reason that this shifting down is important is because that's your main pivot point. That's all your support for the deck. So if this is at the corner, the deck is more likely to shift as I do the move, and I get less support out of it. Right? The deck is not as nicely supported. So I would advise moving your middle finger down a little bit to there. Okay. Another thing about the index finger is the index finger being here is important, not underneath, because you're going to get pushing up a lot, and the index finger is just going to help stabilize the deck from moving forwards. Okay. Now from there, a difference that you're going to find is if you move your pinky from the corner, you're going to get flashes in there. Okay. Whereas if you move your pinky up a little bit towards the middle and pull out, you're not going to get a corner flash at all. So the key is to get your index finger up, is to squish your fingers up a little bit and then do the steel. You'll also notice that I do move my third finger out of the way and then pivot it back. And I use that to pivot the card from this position rather than pivoting it all the way against a stationary finger. To me, this makes it flow smoother. When you keep your third finger stationary and try and do it, you'll get a lot more flashes in here, and you'll also get a more tense deck, right? So the key is to open them both up a little bit so that you can pull this card out freely, so it gets out freely, and then pivot it down with this finger. So you're not pivoting against that right away. You're using it as a pivot later. Okay. Other than that, it's mostly timing. I would also advise using, obviously the tip of your index finger. I've seen some people try and do it like right at the edge. Get your finger underneath the card. Like get your whole tip of your finger underneath the card rather than trying to do it on the edge of the card. That's not going to help you. Get it right underneath. I'm trying to get this shown. Get it right underneath there and then go into it. Okay, do you see how far my index finger is on that card? Right? And then from there, it's just a matter of just doing the move like that, right? So if we were to do this, I'll do this with a face-up card, so you can see how it would look like as a chain, right? And it would look something like this. Okay? And so, whoops. And so there's that. And yeah, those are mostly my tips. So pull out with the index and then pivot. That'll stop your flashes in here that you're probably getting. It'll also make allow you to be looser on the deck. And make sure that these are positioned in the right places. Obviously, the squeezing point on my thumb is right here, which is straight in line with that. I want that straight across. Right, so out, then in, rather than the original, which is just to go and keep that finger stationary, because then it buckles your thumb out. So there you go, play with it. I don't know if any of that helps, but I hope so. Take it easy.